and variables. And so this is going to really be an extensive class because I'll be going all in and explaining everything there is to know about variables. So let's get started. So the first thing we have to do, we have to go to that part.dev, on our Google, that part.dev. So when you go there, you get to something like this. So what I did to have this interface is that I saved to my system, so I'm having something like a that part application right here. So just go into your Chrome, that.dev, then join the class from there. So alright, so the first thing we are going to do now is that we are going to remove this for loop here so that we can start from a clean slate, from a clean code. Alright, so like I said earlier, the first thing we'll be doing is we'll be talking about comments. And basically what comment does in programming is that comment is one of the topics in programming that allows you to make notes, right? Something that allows you to be able to, even in 10 years to come, when you come back to your code, you'll be able to understand what you were trying to do, right? And the way we have different types of comments, but basically the way we write comments is that we use this double slash, right? So basically, if you want to write anything, right, in your programming and you don't want it to be displayed here, or you don't want to get any errors, you use comment. As an example, let's say in my void main, I want to write the code, and basically what the code does, it's print hello world as an example. So let's say I want to print, everybody knows how to print now, so I want to print something like hello world like this, and I'll have this here. So it's print, not print 0. Alright, so let's say I want to print this and I run this. So let's say I want to explain this code to somebody who doesn't understand programming, what this line of code does. I only have one line of code in my void main, right? So if I want to explain what this line of code does to somebody like a rookie, somebody who doesn't know anything about programming, is that I will have a comment anywhere I want in my code. But if you want to do that now, you have something like double slash like this. Then you can say this line of code prints, as an example, hello world to the console. As an example, it prints hello world to the console. So this doesn't get printed, and that's why it's having this gray kind of color. It doesn't get printed, it just allows me to print to the console, right? So let's say I have another one and I want to print again this line of code print first name, as an example. So I can come here and say print first name as an example, right? Then we know what this line of code does. I can come again and say this line of code print like this second name. I can come here and say print second name. So this is just like an example of what comment does. Comment just allows you, okay, we are supposed to add this. So comment just allows us to explain what our line of code is trying to do, right? I can have something like print something like this, this plus this divided by this, let's say times this. When I print this, I can tell somebody that this line of code explains, or let's say proves that follows board mass, as an example. That's okay, it divides first, then it multiplies, and it adds. You get the idea. When I run this code, it doesn't print all these comments here because comment doesn't get printed in the console. It's only used to explain what we are trying to do. So basically we have different types of comments. So this is what I'm going to be doing now. Let me clean all these things. Let me have a comment, types of comments. You get the idea now. You see that this doesn't get printed. So let me write another note. There are 3 types of comments. So all these things should be in your notes, and you can also of course add it as a comment. We have number one, we have the single line comment, which we write code on. We have number two, we have the number two, we have the double line comment like this. Now number three, we have the documentation comment like this. So yes, let's now write our code. Let me explain individual. I've explained single line of comments, and that's what I've been using since this double slash on thing. Let me explain the double line and the documentation comment. So if I have, like, you know how we start, void main this, then we have this. I deliberately wrote this code so that you people will understand how we actually start writing, so that you won't just know that okay, the way you start is just to clean the for loop and start writing your code. This is void main, the open and close bracket, which is the parentheses, then your curly braces. Then in it, let's say I want to write, let's say I have a comment here, this is my first name, right? Then I have another comment, this is my or let's say password. Let me have username and password. You know, let's say I'm writing, because that's one of the things we are going to build, right, in subsequent classes, a basic username and password kind of application. So I have, this is my username and I have this is my password, right? So is there a way we can actually do this thing in without having to have single line? Is there a way? Yes, there's a way. And the way we do it is that we can have a slash here, then an asterisk here, then whatever it is we want to write goes into the line of the comment. Then you can have the asterisk again and the same to close it. So once we do this, we've written a code. This is like multiple line comment, right? So we get to write, like, you know, this is my first password and this is my, you can write different things on different line. Once you just have this slash star slash open and close, right, you can write as much thing as you want without having to have this double slash every now and then. So this is just another way we can write comments, right? Why the last way we can write comments? So I won't delete this so I can save so you can get to write down. The last way we can write comment is the documentation comment. I won't be talking about documentation comment now. I will be talking about documentation comment when we are talking about Flutter, right? Because we basically use documentation comment for huge code base, right? Let's say, for example, now I'm writing a lot of code, right, and I want to have something that would guide me into writing this code, because the way we write code as programmers is that we don't write code blindly. We're always having something like a roadmap, a pseudo code, something that guides us in writing our code, right? Let's say I want to build a currency converter app as an example, which is the first app we'll be building in our Flutter class. Then I want to convert from dollars to naira. I need to have a text field, I need to have a button, I need to have my title where the text will be, all those things like that. I will first write it somewhere, right? So those things I'm writing in my code that guides me into what I want to do, those are documentation comments, right? And we are going to learn that hands-on when we are talking about Flutter. So this is just all about comments. Comment just allows you to, just guides you into how you are going to structure your code, what a single line of code does, or what a piece of code does. So that way you won't be confused and it's very easy for you to write your code. So this is all about this class. In next class we'll talk about variables. Thank you. If there's any question or anything to add to this class, please drop it in the group. Thank you, class.